Just want to do a quick video on my Nano tank. This is a 40 breeder. I built the stand myself, just like the other tanks. So I don't have any shrimp in here. Actually, I don't have any Neo or Carolina shrimp. I just have some ghost shrimp. But I have just the Nano fish, like the Amber Tetras, the Scarlets that look like some black neons, and the red-eyed tetra or whatever, those black skirts. They're kind of aggressive, like they're just fighting with each other. That bigger one keep chasing the smaller ones. But yeah, it's heavily planted. I just threw like a mishmash of all the plants that I had in my previous tanks in here, just letting them grow out. There's enough room in here. And I still use distilled water. I don't use tap water. Basically, I just take the water out of my shrimp tanks, being that it's like perfect, and I just put it in here, just replace the shrimp tank water. But I add some minerals in here just to get the TDS above 200, between 190 and 210. And the parameters are perfect. But the mistake I made was I was in Petco. I never go to Petco. I was in Petco a couple of weeks ago, and they had just gotten a shipment in, which is another mistake. Any shrimp or fish keeper know you don't buy fish from any of those retail chains on the day of delivery. But I walked by and they had a bag of 50 ghost shrimp. It said 50, but I know there was a lot more than 50 in there. And the girl was like, we just got these in. I was like, oh, can I have them? And she was like, sure. But I should have known better, because the water looked very murky and I don't know where it came from. And I live in New York, and I think they came from either California or Texas. And it was a pretty long trip for to be in that bag. And I looked in the bag, I saw like a couple of them were dead, which is a bad sign, because now you have them shipping in a bag with ammonia. It looked like there was actually waste in the bag, so they didn't starve them before they shipped them, so they produced waste. So more than likely the pH is super low in that water, and the ammonia level is just going to skyrocket as soon as you let oxygen in by opening the bag. And I knew all this, but I was like, yo, I can get 50 plus ghost shrimp for like $25. It's worth a shot. So I bought them, brought them home, and I knew I had to do like a quick water exchange. I basically, at this point, I couldn't slow drip them, because they need to get out that water like ASAP, because the minute if you open the bag, the ammonia is going to drop and they're all just going to die. Not the ammonia, the pH. And the ammonia is going to spike too as soon as you let the oxygen. The ammonia spike and pH will drop like rapidly. So I was like, I had two options. One option is not to dump the bag into my tank, which that would probably been the best way to save them, but it would have destroyed my population, because I'm letting all this bad water in the tank. The other option was to open the bag and reduce the water that they came into about 20%, and then slowly add fresh water to it. That's what I did, and in hindsight, I think that was probably the worst thing to do. Not the worst thing, but it wasn't the best thing to do. I ended up losing probably about 40 of them. I knew that was going to happen, because the water that they came in was terrible. When I cut the bag, the odor, which is ridiculous to come from shrimp, you should never have that type of odor. But what I should have done was get a big net and just cut the bag and dump the shrimp right into the net with no water at all. So that way they're not being, even though they're getting oxygen, like fresh oxygen, they're not going to be in a water. So there'll be no rise or drop in the pH level or ammonia level, and then just put them into the tank. I should have done that, because that's not something you normally do with shrimp. You never just net shrimp and just put them in a tank. But that's what I should have done. It probably wouldn't have worked anyway, because they were in bad shape, and I should have known better buying stuff like that from a retailer. Especially if you're going to buy shrimp or fish from a retailer, ask them how long they've been in the tank. If they've been in the tank for a week or so, then you have a better chance. But definitely not day one. Lesson learned. Well, I already knew that, so it's not really a lesson learned, but I took a chance, and I think I probably lost 80% of them, which was fine. Pretty sure I can get them to breed and reproduce. And it was still a good deal. $25 for 50 gold shrimp is definitely a deal. All right.